Hello darlings, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maryam, and today I am filming this video for you while ABC News is here and they're filming me. I'm filming for you.
Lee is filming, them filming me, and then we have Nico filming Lee, filming them, filming me. So we have this whole Inception thing happening.
Catch me on Snapchat if you want to know what's going on. Today's video is on a whole other topic. You already know what I'm talking about.
Today I am doing a Tarte Shape Tape Foundation review, demonstration, wear test, the whole thing.
This is something that is so highly requested by all of you, especially since a few weeks ago I did a Tarte Shape Tape Concealer worn as foundation video, and I got a lot of comments on that video since Tarte Shape Tape Foundation just came out. So people thought that I was psychic, that I manifested it into reality. Nothing of the sort, it just happened to be a coincidence. If you guys are not familiar with Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, it's a concealer that basically took the makeup world by storm. It was the #1 selling concealer, definitely my #1 favorite concealer of all time. It's the one that I use all the time in pretty much every single video. I rave about it. Tarte heard everybody's prayers. They finally came out with a foundation. So without further ado, let's get into this review. Remember to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell because it's important. Sometimes even when you subscribe, you don't necessarily know when my videos are live. So hit that notification bell so you can be the first to know. Here is the PR package that I received in the mail just earlier today. Here we have the original Tarte Shape Tape concealers. We have them in my shade medium, then also a light medium and tan. We also have a new contouring sponge called the Shaper. Looks a little bit like the world. And we have a Paddle Perfection foundation brush. I refer to these brushes as toothbrushes, even though they're for the face. Now here are the two types of foundation. The hydrating one is on the top. The hydrating foundation is probably good for normal to dry skin, and the matte one is obviously better for normal to oily skin, which is the category that I fall under. So this is the foundation that I would typically go for. In each category, there's 15 hydrating shades and 15 matte shades. And I know there's been some controversy over the last couple of days. Some people are definitely complaining that there's not enough shades to complement all skin tones. There's a lot of lighter shades in both of these foundations and there's not enough deeper tones. Apparently Tarte made an announcement that there will be more shades coming soon, so that's good news. This is the shade range that was sent to me. They fall sort of in the medium, in the middle of the spectrum. However, I went ahead and I purchased my own Tarte Shape Tape foundation. I actually went on Tarte's website. I picked my own shades because I didn't want to wait for the PR package. I wanted to make sure that I test them out and I filmed this video for you guys as soon as possible. And I am so glad I did. I bought 2 shades in each category. I bought medium sand, medium neutral in the matte, and then I bought light medium sand and medium sand in the hydrating foundation. Ironically, my PR package didn't include a single shade with the word sand on it. And in my experience with Tarte foundations, I'm always some type of sand. I wear a medium tan sand in Rainforest of the Sea foundation, also from Tarte. And I find that the honey shades are very, very cool. They are extremely pink on my type of skin tone. And because I'm yellow, I always tend to go for the sand. So this is a tan honey. This here is a medium tan honey, medium honey in the hydrating, and a medium tan honey in the hydrating. Well, this is the only sand, but this is a tan sand. And another medium honey. For the purpose of this review, I'm gonna test out both the matte and the hydrating foundation, even though I'm an oily skin type and I would typically go for the matte. So I'm gonna wear the matte on this side of my face and I'm gonna wear the hydrating one on this side of the face. And then I'm gonna come back at the end of the video, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna film my final thoughts, my test wear. I'm gonna show you what it looks like at the end of the day. Okay, but first let's remove the foundation that I have on right now. I'm also gonna remove these crusty lips. Girl, this makeup has been on my face since super early this morning when ABC came to film me. But again, I can't reveal too much about what we were doing. You're just gonna have to wait until I announce what's going on. Nonetheless, it was a very fun day and not too long of a shoot. Damn, I look pale. It is in the middle of January though, and I'm getting sick. Also, something very typical that happens to me in the middle of January. Primer time, I'm just gonna use this MAC one. I'm gonna apply it all over. They did not have my normal shade, which is medium tan sand. So let's go for the hydrating one first in medium sand. Cool thing is that they have the same kind of applicator as the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. The same wide wand. It smells very similar. Gonna apply it just like that. This is what it looks like. this point. And now I'm going to apply the medium sand from the matte foundation. Whoa, off the bat, this looks so much more pigmented and so much more opaque and more full coverage. And is it me? Or is the color different too? Seems like it's a little bit lighter. In any case, both of these foundations retail for $39, which is not bad at all, considering that a Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is $27. But the difference between the two is this. The matte foundation visibly refines pores and absorbs shine. Vitamin E nourishes. There's no flaking or caking. And they suggest that you use it with this new paddle brush. The Hydrating Foundation, on the other hand, makes skin luminous and fresh. It has hyaluronic acid, which I love. It's known for its skin smoothing properties. And I actually wish that they included some of that hyaluronic goodness in the matte foundation. But anyway, this foundation is suggested to be used with the shaper sponge, so I'll try that as well. I'm going to start blending out the Hydrating Foundation first. Now again, keep in mind, this isn't the foundation that I would typically go for because I am an oily skin type, so I need something matte and not luminous. But I like the fact that this has hyaluronic acid. I like what it does to my skin. So we'll see. Most importantly, we'll see how it wears after the wear test. This foundation gives great coverage so far. So let's see how it compares to this side. Wow, I can immediately tell that the matte foundation is more full coverage than the hydrating one. The colors are not exact. This medium sand is a little bit lighter than this medium sand, but they still have that golden yellow undertone, which works well on my skin tone. So if you're someone who's more golden or more olive, I would suggest go for the sand shades. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this paddle brush. It's a little bit hard to get used to. So I'm just gonna use my own brush, this one from IT Cosmetics, and I'm also gonna blend out that border between the two foundations. So now I'm gonna do my regular Tarte Shape Tape highlighting and concealing using light medium. I'm just gonna highlight right under the eyes, and I'm not gonna apply it too generously because I really want to see the foundation in action. I wanna see how it withstands the time that passes on its own without the help of concealer. I also wanna see how it withstands my oil throughout the day. So I'm using just a minimal amount of Shape Tape concealer. Man, I used to say Shape Tape and I used to refer to concealer, but now I actually have to say Shape Tape Concealer in reference to concealer because now there's a foundation. But I'm not used to it. Looking at my viewfinder over here, I feel like medium sand is just a little bit too pale for my complexion, but it's the only sand that they have available. Tan sand is just a little too tan for my January skin, and they don't have a medium tan sand just yet. So now I'm just gonna very quickly set my face. A little bit of Laura Mercier under the eyes. A little bit on the forehead. And then I'm going to set the rest of my face with Charlotte Tilbury Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. Let me just bronze up a little bit and bring back my skin tone. I'm still using my Pixie Collab collection, my City Kitty bronzer that I love so much. Oh, and one final touch, I'm going to apply a little bit of this Flower Beauty highlighter just because it blings and it needs to be on my face right now. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the foundation application. Looking at it right now, I'm noticing that my pores are actually more refined on the hydrating side. But that doesn't surprise me because this foundation uses hyaluronic acid, so it's known to smooth the skin and even out the pores. This one, for some reason, is feeling a little bit chalkier than the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. But let's see how it wears and let's see how it sort of settles into my skin. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna apply some red lipstick because I need to look cute in this video. At least I need to try. And I'm gonna wear this foundation for the rest of the day. I'm gonna come back at the end of the video and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. This is the matte side. This is the hydrating side. What do we think, Lee?
Oh, my thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the matte side is more flawless.
Okay.
I think the other side, which is the
hydrating
side, hydrating side, you can actually see more of the skin. The skin looks very natural.
Yeah, you could definitely see my freckles.
You can see freckles, a little bit more sheer. Not as flawless, but very natural, but also very even your skin looks on the hydrating side.
I'm noticing that this one is actually refining my pores a little bit better, oddly enough. But I think the fact that this one is kind of showing off my pores in this area, it's because it's so much drier than this one. So it's kind of clinging to those imperfect textured areas. Okay.
It does look a little light on you.
Yep, it does. But, and I blended it down my neck too, just so to match.
Like you blended it into your neck,
I did.
It did work out nicely.
But then look at my shoulder. It's like a different color.
Yeah, it is a different, it's a bit.
So the next darker one would be the honey, but the honey is too pink on me. It's good for blondes who tan well, perfect for them. But not for someone who's more on the yellow side or more on the olive side. And now for the $1 million question. How does it wear? How do they wear? So at this point, I'm going to turn off my camera and then I am gonna come back in about 8 hours and I'm gonna tell you how it wears. And I'm gonna show you how it wears. So stay tuned. Excuse me for looking like a hot mess. It's just been a really long day today. Anyway, let's get into this. It's been about 6 hours since I've applied the foundation, and although it hasn't been a full day, I think it's enough time for me to formulate an opinion. Let's talk about just a couple of things. First of all, the shade range. The shade range is a little bit, let's just say the shade range is not very inclusive. Not only is it not inclusive of the deeper skin tones, I feel like it's missed a whole opportunity with olive and yellow complexions as well. I couldn't find my perfect shade. I had to bronze up my skin on top of the foundation just to make it work for me. Usually I wear a medium tan, sand, and Tarte foundations. In this instance, they didn't have that shade at all. So that's something that they've got to work on, plain and simple. For $39, however, I do find that these two foundations, both the matte and the hydrating, are pretty good foundations. I'm not gonna say they're life-changing foundations. It is not by any means the same formula as the original Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which is what I initially wanted. I wanted the same exact product, the same exact formula, just in a bigger tube. A tube like this would be nice. Instead, Tarte gave us two different formulas, a matte and a hydrating. So let's examine what they look like at this point. This is the matte side. It does what it says it does. It definitely mattifies the face. However, because of how dry it is, it does tend to amplify textured skin. So if you have pores or if you have small little acne or any type of scars, I feel like it's gonna be really hard for you to hide that with this matte foundation. It is very clingy to the skin, and so you can definitely see my pores and like my acne scars right here, which I'm not really too into. I do really enjoy the coverage of this foundation. It does look like I'm wearing makeup. Even Lee said so when he walked in. The hydrating foundation has hyaluronic acid, so it does have smoothing properties, and you could definitely tell the smoothing effect happening over here in the porous areas. For some reason, also my highlight is looking a lot more dewy on this side than it is on this side. On this side, it's like barely there, but here it's booming. So those are my final thoughts. I'm not gonna say that this foundation is a complete miss for me. It's far from that. It's definitely a good foundation, especially for $39. I wanna develop an even stronger opinion about it, so I'll definitely wear it tomorrow and the day after and so on. I would say I like both. This one looks like makeup. This one is a little bit more natural. It is more dewy. This one is mattifying. So the matte one would be good for someone who has very smooth but oily skin and needs more coverage than most. Like if you have sunspots or maybe freckles, whereas the hydrating side would be good for someone who doesn't necessarily need a lot of coverage, but perhaps has some pores or some texture issues, or just wants a lighter foundation look. I actually like them both. I would definitely wear them both. So those are my thoughts. And Tarte, I still want that Tarte Shape Tape foundation that is the same exact formula as your magical concealer, because I love that one and I'm gonna keep on using it as foundation. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my review and my take on this very hot new product. I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah. after we were all wrapped and done, I filmed my Tarte Shape Tape Foundation, not Shape Tape Concealer. I filmed my Tarte Shape Tape Foundation review. First impressions demo.